Okay, so I'm going to go through with you today an exam question to do with exercise and respiration. So first of all, I'm going to show you the exam question, pause each screen, have a little go at it, and then we'll go through it together. Okay, so here's the first part A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, so we're going to have a little go through these questions now. So hopefully you've had a little go at them now, and let's work through them together. So part A, some students investigated how exercise affects heart rate. The figure below shows the results. So here we've got heart rate in beats per minute, and we've got time in minutes at the bottom. We've got student A and student B. What was student B resting heart rate? So we're looking at the dotted line of student B, and their resting heart rate is the heart rate when they're not doing any exercise. Okay, so it's this nice flat line here, so we need to have a little look at that and think what heart rate would that be. So let's have a little look here. So it's going to be 3 squares up from 60. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares between 60 and 70. So if there's 5 squares between 60 and 70, 5 squares is equal to 10. So 1 square is equal to 2 beats per minute. Okay, so if it's 3 squares up, it's going to be 60 and 3 squares more. So it's going to be 3 times 2, it's 6. So it's going to be 66 beats per minute. Okay, for this part B, the student started running at 2 minutes. What evidence is there from this figure above? So at 2 minutes, what is the evidence that they started running? Well, we can see that their heart rate has started to increase, hasn't it? So their heart rate increased. Their heart rate increased. Okay. C. So for how many minutes did the students run? So how many minutes did they run? So, well, we know that they started running at 2 minutes because it told us in the question before. We can see their heart rate has increased here. Their heart rate decreases here, and then it returns back to resting over here, doesn't it? So this is their resting again. We've got a decrease here and an increase up to here, haven't we? So what we can see is, would their heart rate increase and then decrease if they were exercising? Their heart rate would only be increasing when they were exercising. They must have stopped at this point if their heart rate is decreasing. So between 2 minutes and 6 minutes is when they were exercising. So in total, they were exercising for 4 minutes. Okay, so let's have a look at this next bit. Student B is fitter than student A. So B is fitter than A. Use the figure above to give 2 pieces of evidence that support this statement. So how can we use this graph? So it says use it. How can we use this graph to prove that B is fitter than A? Well, B has a lower resting heart rate. Student B has a lower resting heart rate. And a lower resting heart rate would mean that they need their heart to pump less to get the blood around their body, therefore they're fitter. Okay, but it doesn't ask for an explanation, it just asks us to state them. Okay, so there we go, first one. Second thing we can notice, what can we notice the difference between these lines on the graph? We can see that there's a difference here and here. That student B's heart rate doesn't increase anywhere near as high as student A. Student A gets all the way up to 120, whereas student B doesn't even make 100. So student's B heart rate does not increase as much as student A. Again, that would show that he's fitter, that his heart doesn't pump as fast. Okay, there are other changes in the body during exercise. Explain these changes. So this question is with 4 marks. So we could be talking about here about the heart rate increasing and how that's important. So it would be important for respiration. The heart rate increases, so there's more blood getting to our muscles, taking with it all that oxygen and glucose needed for respiration, needed to make energy. Okay, but it says other changes, so we can't talk about any of this. So we need to talk about a different change. So what is the other change that happens when we exercise? Our breathing rate increases. it also gets deeper. So we breathe faster and deeper. Why do we do this? Okay, so it says explain, so we need to say why. Because why do we breathe deeper and faster? Because we take in more oxygen, which is needed. What's it needed for? Respiration. When exercising, there will be a faster rate of respiration. What else would that breathing do? It will get rid of the carbon dioxide. An increased breathing rate will also remove the carbon dioxide made in respiration. And that's it for our 4-mark question. So we need to explain it. So really we've gone in for that explain. We've got that because in there as well. We've not just stated it, okay? And that's it.